Hi, I'm Christina Whitney, a studio educator with Handi Quilter. Welcome back to the Heartfelt Wholecloth Quilt Series. Today we're going to do part 11, including the matchstick ruler.
I went ahead and did some marking on this section just to make sure that I had my spacing correct. So you're going to want to have an odd number of the large spacings for your piano keys, the 3/4 inch part, and then an even number for the 1/4 inch part, because you'll start with a 1/4 inch here and then end with a 1/4 inch here. And you're going to want to have the odd number of the larger sections because every other one will have the ribbon candy added to it, and you want to start with the ribbon candy and end with the ribbon candy. So what I went ahead and did was I just put my ruler up there from the edge of the diamond over to the edge of the other diamond, and I'm at 19 inches, which is an even number, so that worked out really nicely for me. So I went ahead and marked my first 1/4 inch, and then I marked every inch after that. And you wouldn't have to mark every one, but I just found that it might be helpful moving forward. And then since I'm right on the 19, I need that extra 1/4 inch. So as I was marking along, I was slowly shifting the ruler just a tiny bit until I got the 19 1/4 line lined up with my diamond, and that gave me that extra 1/4 inch to stitch there. So hopefully that will help out. Do your math ahead of time. It will help you as you're stitching so that you don't have to unpick and have lots of frustrations. So hopefully that will be a good tip for you. The instructions call for the matchstick ruler. Another option, if you don't have that one, is the 6 by 1/4 inch line grid. So they're pretty much the same thing, except this is a 1/8 inch space between the lines that you stitch for your piano keys, and this one stitches out 1/4 inch. So that's another option. I'm putting the matchstick ruler on. It's a little bit tight. The ruler hits the foot there, so you have to kind of push it underneath the foot and try to slide it into place. So let me show you an easier way to do that and getting it off also. We're just going to take it around and put it in from the needle side, and it just slides right in. Okay, and it comes right back out just like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move my machine over into position. So looking at this, we've got a straight line here on the bottom, and we've got a wavy line at the top. So what I'm going to do is start at the straight line. I'm going to stitch up and stitch back down and then travel on the straight line. It's a little bit easier to travel on that straight line than to try to travel over those waves. So I've got my foot in position. I'm a 1/4 inch from that diamond. See if we can pull up the bobbin thread. Okay. And I'm going to bump the ruler up, and I want to have this dotted line on my stitch line. Okay, so I'm going to have the 1/4 inch line lined up with my last straight line that I did, and it's kind of hard to see, but I've got my foot bumped up against the right hand side of the ruler, so there's an 1/8 inch space over here on the left. So what I'm going to do is stitch up. I'm going to stop when I get to my wavy line and stitch back down. Okay, I'm going to shift the ruler over once. That'll give me 1/8 inch. I'm going to shift it again, 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch, 5/8, and 3/4. So at the 3/4 mark, that's where I'm going to do my next piano key. Going up and coming back down. Okay, I went ahead and switched out to the 6 by 1/4 inch so you can see the difference. We're going to pretend like I just finished stitching that line, and now I'm going to shift the ruler over, stitch across, stitch by 1/4, come down, shift the ruler over, that's 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. One, two, three. Shift over, 1/4, stitch up, shift, 1, 2, 3, and I'm trying to stay pretty close to my straight line. Okay, 1/4. So you can see how that's looking, and I'll just continue quilting along. Okay, we've got the piano keys done. Like I mentioned earlier, there's many different rulers that you can try for this. Find what works best for you. So now I'm going to go back and do some free motion ribbon candy in every other one of the large spaces. For the ribbon candy, I'm going to start on the wiggle side rather than the straight side so that I can fill in the spaces a little bit easier. So I'm going to go right up to that wiggle section. And I'm just going to draw with my finger, kind of getting the motion of where I want to go. So I'm going to fill this section first. I'm going to change my speed. And I'm going to go up to 13 stitches per inch. You can do whatever works for you. Okay, so we're just going to continue filling in those spots. Remember, when you're doing small work like this ribbon fill or the micro fills later on, that if you have adjustable handles, you can adjust those down to a more comfortable position. Or if you have the Avante or Fusion, you can get the micro handles that you attach on. And that gives you a little bit more control as you're doing the small work. We're getting so close to the end of this project. Thank you for joining me for part 11 of the Heartfelt Wholecloth Quilt series.